Hey, what's up? I'm Jared Wenzel, also known as the Bropair, and I'm doing an autocomplete interview. Next question. Ow, paper cut. Okay, our first one, here we go. What does au pair mean? An au pair is essentially an international live-in nanny. They come from somewhere in the world to a different country and live with the host family in that country for a year or maybe even 2 years, and they look after the kids. What au pairs do? So au pairs help to look after the host family's children, from waking them up to getting them dressed to feeding them to doing homework, picking them up from school, taking them to extracurricular activities, basketball or martial arts or painting, whatever. They're also there to learn more about the culture of the country that they are in from their host family. What au pair agency is best? Whichever pays me the most to say their name on my channel. I'm just kidding. Or am I? What is au pair program? So the au pair program is a cultural exchange program where the au pair goes from their home country to whatever country they choose to au pair in, and they live with their host family in that country. But there are parts of education involved which usually take the form of a language course. The au pair helps to look after their host family's children in exchange for food and accommodation, as well as a weekly stipend or pocket money. What does au pair mean in French? So yes, au pair is a French word and it means to be on par with the parents. So it's your parents, or your host parents, then your parents, no, your parents aren't even in this, throw them out. So it's the host parents and then you, and you're on par with them. It's not like you're their subordinates or anything like that. So when you're an au pair, then you're essentially a parent. But the way you do pronounce it is au pair, although if you haven't noticed, I say au pair a lot and I just can't bring myself to say au pair. But au pair is the way you're supposed to say it. But I will continue saying au pair. What au pair visa? So in America, it will be the J1 visa, which is a student visa. But if you're going to do it in other places in the world, I'm not necessarily sure what it would be. It probably would also be some type of student visa. I'm not sure if there's a designated au pair visa, but it would more than likely fall under some student type visa. What au pair salary? So the au pair salary is essentially the pocket money or the stipend that the host family will give to you per week. In America, it's $195.75 per week, and per month that equates to like $783, which isn't that much, but you must remember that your host family is paying for your food and then they're also paying for where you're living. Although I do think that au pairs should be getting a little bit more money than that, but that is the base pay that you will get in America. You can always ask for a raise though, don't forget about that. You can always ask for a raise. But in other parts of the world, I'm not necessarily sure if they have a base amount of what they earn. Yeah, Google it. Google it. And then I'll make a part 2. Is au pair safe? So yes, it is a very safe program. I would say that you need to be careful of scammers though, especially if you're going to au pair in other parts of the world apart from America, because in America you have to join an agency and the host family also has to join an agency. So I would say that if you're going to do it in America, it's the safest option, but that's not to say that doing it in like Europe or Australia is anything wrong with that. So all I'm just trying to say is just be careful of the scammers, because there are scammers out there who want to take advantage of young people because they think we're dumb, but we will show them we are not dumb. Is au pair worth it? Okay, I want to make sure you hear me on this one. So let me come close. It is the best decision I ever made in my entire life. It is 100% worth it. You should do it. Become an au pair. But yes, being an au pair was the best decision I ever made for myself. I did it kind of last minute because in America you have to do it from the ages of 18 to 26, and I did it when I was 25. So my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner in my early 20s, like 21, 22 even. But if you're gonna go do it in America, do it after 21 so then you can go and drink. And go to bars. Is au pair the same as a nanny? So an au pair and a nanny are not the same thing. An au pair is essentially an international live-in nanny, but they are going for a year, maybe 2 years, and they're doing it on cultural exchange. Whereas a nanny will be the resident of the country and they will come to work in the morning and then leave at night. They don't live in at the house, although you do get some live-in nannies that aren't au pairs. But a nanny is more so, they have a lot more experience and it's kind of like their actual job or career choice to be a nanny. Is au pair capitalized? No, it's clearly lowercase. Is au pair essential travel? Well, I know with the whole pandemic and everything going on right now and the whole world being a shit show that it is, that au pairs who want to or are on the verge of becoming an au pair and they're being told no, they have to stay in their home country until there's all the travel bans and all that is passed. But I know they want to think that it's essential travel, but it's not. I do know with America though, I think Europe's opened up actually. Europe's opened up to some countries if I'm not mistaken, so just check your local listings. But in America, there was something passed where I know for the rest of the year, the whole J1 visa, for the whole au pair visa is kind of suspended for the rest of the year. But if your host parents are like a doctor or something like that, then you can become exempt from that. But you're just gonna have to look for yourself because I'm not too sure on that. But I do remember seeing something. But if you're trying to be an au pair in America, then check with your agency and see if your host family is exempt from that. And then you may be able to still go and be an au pair this year. Why become an au pair? You should become an au pair because you'll learn so much about yourself, you'll meet so many new people and make so many amazing memories. You'll also broaden your mind on how big the world actually is and how much opportunity there is actually in the world. And you'll become so independent and learn so much about yourself, find new passions, and find out who you really are and what you really want to get out of life. So it is the best decision. Like I said earlier, it was the best decision I ever made for myself and I don't regret it whatsoever. So if you think about it, become an au pair. But you have to actually like kids. Why male au pair? Yeah, I think it's asking because why should a host family get a male au pair? And I made a video in collaboration with Au Pair World, I'll link that up here, and it's the top 4 reasons why you should consider a male au pair. It's definitely something you should watch. It'll be the perfect answer to this question over here, so go check that out. Also, we're dope. Why get an au pair? So if you're already thinking about getting a nanny, then I would rather suggest that you get an au pair because then you get someone coming in from a different country who can give a different perspective on how life is to your children and then just broaden your child's knowledge about the world and about another country. Then you get the whole beauty of the whole cultural exchange where the au pair and your children can share cultural ideals and essentially they can learn from each other. I think it's a beautiful thing and I would highly suggest that you get an au pair as opposed to getting a nanny. When to get an au pair? If you feel as though you need the extra help and you're already looking at getting a nanny, then rather get an au pair. But to get an au pair, you also need to have one child in the house that's under 18 years old. When to rematch au pair? So rematch is not the most fun thing in the world. I was fortunate enough not to have to go into rematch, but if you feel as though you need to go into rematch and you have an issue with your family, what you need to do is to speak to them about it. And if you can't resolve that issue, then if you're an au pair in America, you need to get your agency involved and your area director so they can mediate the situation and try and get the issue resolved. If from there it can't be resolved, then they'll help you to find a new host family. But if you're an au pair in, say, other parts of the world, Australia or China or Europe somewhere, then you would need to speak to your host family, and if you can't resolve it, then say to them, listen, I want to go into rematch, or I want to find a new host family, this isn't working out for me. And then you can go and find a new host family, because when you go and do it in Europe, you're not necessarily with an agency, so you're kind of doing it more so on your own. But I hope none of you get into rematch, because it's, from what I can imagine, it's not the best thing in the world. But that is why I enforce it so much, where in your interview process, then you kind of need to make sure that this is the right family for you. Don't just go with the first family that you speak to. Where to au pair? So you can pretty much au pair all over the world. Very popular places would be like America, Australia, places, a lot of the places in Europe, especially France, Germany. I think you can maybe au pair in China, I'm not too sure, but there's definitely a ton of countries all over the world where you can be an au pair. Where to find au pair? So if you are a host family in America, for example, then you have to go through an agency. So you'd have to join an agency, and then on the agency's website, that's where you would find all the different au pairs that that agency has to offer, and that's where you would find your au pair that you're going to match with. But if you are, say, a host family in Australia, for example, or Europe, then you have to be join to us like a website. So for example, Au Pair World. And on that site, that is where you'll find all the au pairs that are on offer from Au Pair World. There are also various Facebook groups where you can find au pairs looking for a host family, but if you are in America, then you still have to go through the agency. Thanks for watching. I enjoy. There's an ant on my camera! Thanks for watching. I enjoyed answering the internet's most asked questions about au pairing. I hope that this clarified a lot for you all. Shout out to this week's comment winner, Sebastian. Thank you for all your support on my channel. I do appreciate it. If you would like to stand a chance to be next week's comment winner, then all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below on what kind of a video topic I should do next, but with a little bit of an au pair twist. I hope you have a great week, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.